It's finished Notts County 1, Woking 0. Player ratings for a very good victory against a very good side. If I was to give a summary of the game, up until the goal, I'd say it was very much like the Dagenham game, but with Woking a better side than Dagenham. So we were put under more pressure. We didn't take chances. Obviously missed the penalty. A good headed opportunity for Wootton in the first half that he misjudged. But it was an even game without it being even, really, which is a strange way to describe it. But it was a stalemate that Notts definitely had the better of. So overall, I think we deserved it. Once the goal went in, we looked dangerous on the break. They did put us under some pressure towards the end, but not too much, to be honest. So that's going to be reflected in my ratings. But yeah, Notts are up to third as it stands. As I'm recording, a couple of games still to finish, but I don't think they have any bearing. So Notts are up to third, 6 behind Sutton, and 8 behind Torquay. We actually have a game in hand over Sutton as well. So on to the player ratings. In goal, Sam Slocum, I'm going to give him an 8. It's a second consecutive clean sheet. He commanded his box well from crosses again. With the settled back four that I would play on one in front of him, he looks a lot better in goal. I just think I can't give him less than 8. Clean sheet, good performance. Going on to Richard Brunley. Now, I don't think he looked fantastic first half. I think there were a few moments where he looked really sloppy. Not just him, the whole team. But second half, he redeemed himself. There was a moment where Woking got through on goal, and he used his pace to get back and sweep it up and just stop them from getting the shot away. So that was a big moment because I don't think enough was made of it. Really, that was a massive opportunity, and he's just swept that up really well. So that's good from him. So I'm going to go with a 7 for Brunley. Going to the other side of the defence, we'll go down Kelly Evans. Typical Kelly Evans performance, flying into tackles, attacking. Not as good as usual, definitely not as strong as usual, and he's also going to get a 7. If your fullbacks are putting in a 7 out of 10 performance and you're getting a win though, happy days. As Audley was saying after the game in midweek against Dagenham, he was saying, look, I'm setting them up attacking wise, the fullbacks are flying forward, so it's all good from that perspective for me. Chickson dropped. Wasn't fantastic against Dagenham, didn't do too much wrong, but might just be to do with rotation and Chickson not having played so many games. So those two get a 7. I'm now going to go to Turner and Rawlinson together. I could have done the whole back four together actually. I'm going to give them all a 7. But great partnership. They're building a really good partnership. Turner didn't start the game very well. For me, I thought he was particularly sloppy in a defence and midfield that were pretty sloppy. But yeah, 2 clean sheets in a row. And it's like we started off the season attacking. We could attack, but we couldn't defend. Then it looked like the Dagenham game we could defend, but we couldn't attack, and we're just knitting it together. We found a good balance, and you can't just rely on outscoring teams like even a few games ago we did against Chesterfield. You have to you have to make that. You make sacrifices in attack to help your defence, but if you do too many, it's going to be bad for the team, isn't it? It's going to be a negative impact. But I think we've just found that that bond between the attack and defence, and I think we just need to stray a bit more on the side of attacking just to get those goals in. Maybe commit 1 or 2 more players forward just at different times of the game. But overall, I think we've started to crack a few of the problems that were clearly there in defence. Going on to midfield, so. Reeves and Doyle, I always do those together. They always seem to get the same ratings for me. I'm going to give them both 6.5. Now, I'm not giving a 6.5 as a bad rating. I just thought there were times in the game where they were a bit loose in possession. I was actually thinking at half time, and I was saying to George, the way we're going to win this game is to sharpen up. Sharpen up in front of goal, but sharpen up with the mistakes. We were making a few mistakes. Those two needed to sharpen up. At times in the game, they have to stop being creative and putting the good balls in. They have to just turn combative. And I think, they've put in a good performance. It's not a bad performance at all. You always know what you're going to get. I was talking to a few people on Twitter earlier. How long are they going to get? They could play 3 games a week. That's what they look like at the minute. There's no need to drop them. There's no need to break them up because we're playing really well as a team. But when is there going to be an opportunity for another player in? Because if it's warranted, I don't just want him to be put in. If it's warranted, I want to see Matty Wolf. Now, I don't think there's any chance of us seeing Matty Wolf. I don't think Hardley likes him. I don't know the reasons. If there's a genuine reason, then fair enough. But a lot of people saying he's class. I want to see him. And if there's the right opportunity, put him in. But I think he's behind Jim O'Brien at the minute in the pecking order. Let's go to Ruben Rodriguez. Not as brilliant as before, but he's still got the killer passes, hasn't he? Some of those passes today were brilliant. Some of the playmaking, he just drags players away. I was debating 6.5. I think I'm going to stray to 6.5 over a 7. I don't think he was quite as good as usual for his usual standards, but a threat as always. And you know, he's still relatively new into English football, isn't he? He didn't even start the season playing very many minutes, so he's still bedding into English football, still getting used to the different intensities from what he was used to, the different physicalities. So overall, a decent performance from him. Elijah Sam. Now, he's played really well the last few games, so he's never going to keep that consistency up. That's why these players are in this division. I'm going to give him a 6. I don't think he was fantastic. There was an incident in the first half where it sort of summed up the first half, where he just lost the ball under his feet and it just rolled out for a throw, and I thought to myself, yeah, that's the opening to this game summed up. I don't think it was great. Sometimes you're going to have games like that. Woking are a good side, so to be fair to him, it's a 6. It's not a bad 6. It's just completely average performance, and I'm sure he'll pick up again. Maybe if he starts against Bournemouth. 2 more players in the starting lineup then. So Walker, that skill was unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. I wish they replayed it more because it was fantastic. If you didn't see the game, the ball's coming towards him, he lets the ball go through his legs, and as he lets the ball go through his legs, he takes a step to the side. Defender thinks he's going to the side, and then it nips past the defender. I think it goes through the defender's legs, and he whips a dangerous ball in that could have been finished by either Wootton or Sam. I think he looks fantastic. He had a shot where he just dragged it wide, but he makes space for himself. He's going to be a great addition, especially with Roberts. Not back quite yet. I think it's good news on the Roberts front, but yeah, really, really positive for me, Tom Walker. I hope we can keep him based on what we've seen longer than I think it's the January we've got. But for me, he gets a 7. Dangerous player. Again, like Rodriguez, you play against Notts at the minute, you've got 4 or 5 players that you're man marking in relation to maybe some of the lower teams where you're just watching one key man, so it's all positive. Final player, Carl Wootton. Now, missed the penalty. Really poor penalty. The keeper really didn't even need to dive. He could have just stood there and probably saved it. Headed the ball with his shoulder in the first half. Wasn't fantastic. But all in all, I thought he lacks a bit of confidence, and then he gets the goal. And they say if you have too much time as a striker, sometimes you mess up. The assist from Enzio, which I'll go into in a minute, he has a split second to control that and slide it. The keeper's done really well. The keeper's come out quickly. All he's got to do is pick out that one spot, because if he puts it the other side, I think the keeper's got it. So fair play to Carl Wootton. Really, really good instinctive finish, and you don't lose those instincts as a striker, even if you're having a bit of an off day. But really good. I'm going to go and give him an 8 because he came back. It could have been playing on his mind. He's just a very, very, very good player for this division, and it shows in moments like that, which in a game of not that many chances, he's the match winners come for him, and he's put it away. Going on to the subs now, Enzio, I just mentioned, he's nearly back, isn't he? He's definitely nearly back. He's taking players on, he's just step overs, he's got the confidence, he's cutting inside. He's nearly the Enzio we saw from last season. The assist was fantastic. Drew 2 men towards him, and he laid it off at the perfect time, absolute perfect time. For me, if we can see him consistently playing like that, we've just added another player. I mean, look at the player teams have to be scared of. Enzio, Roberts when he's back, Walker, Wootton, Elijah Sam when he's playing well. I'm probably missing some out. Knowles with his pace when he comes on is a handful. So Enzio, really happy with him. I'm actually going to give him an 8. I've given him the same as the goal scorer because that assist, he could have easily shot himself, easily, and he's made the right decision. So an 8 from me. And then Jim O'Brien and Knowles, going to give them both 6s. Didn't see mass amounts from them. They were just in there as fresh legs, did what Bardi told them to do. Ensured we got the clean sheet and the win. But that wraps up all of my player ratings. Overall, really positive. Another clean sheet. Am I going crazy, or was that 3 in a row? Wilson Dagenham in this. Yeah, in none of those games. That's 3 games now where we've not really been tested. defensively or by a goalkeeper. So yeah, really happy. Up to third, massive positives. Let's chase down the top two.